But one of them in particular that I wanted to share with you is this: is Al Gore has come out and said, if you're worried about climate change, don't vote for a third party. Al Gore. And, you know, he's pointing out that, in fact, here it is. This is from Think Progress. Dr. Joe Rahm wrote it. And, you know, there's this narrative that Ralph Nader cost Al Gore the election. And certainly, Ralph Nader took 79,000, I think, votes in Florida, which easily would have swamped the 536 votes that George Bush is supposed to have won by. Now, when they did the recount, they found that actually George Bush lost Florida. Al Gore won it by any measure. But, you know, at the time, and you know, the Nader campaign pushed back, saying those were evenly split between Republicans and Democrats. There have been a few analyses since then saying, no, they weren't actually even split. Almost all of them came from Democratic voters, which I think is probably true. I'm far less enthusiastic about indicting Al Gore for Ralph Nader for Al Gore's loss in 2000 than I am indicting Jeb Bush, who knocked roughly an equal number of African Americans off the poll, about 80,000 African Americans off the polls in just in the months running up to the election, by having his Secretary of State Katherine Harris go to a private for-profit corporation in Texas that compiled a list of Texas felons and say, if there's anybody in Florida who has names that are not even identical, you know, it could be James Johnson in Texas, it could be Jimmy Johnson in Florida, it could be Jay Johnson in Florida, it could be JJ Johnson. It doesn't matter if it's even close, and particularly if it's a common name in the African American community. Knock them off the rolls. And that's what they did. And that's how Jeb Bush stole the election, or helped steal the election, or helped get it within stealing distance for the Supreme Court to steal the election for his brother, George. And the whole world was watching, and the whole world, you know, is looking at our elections going, what, are you people friggin' crazy? But Al Gore came out and he said, I would urge them to look carefully. He says, if you're thinking of voting third party, he says, I would urge you to look carefully at the consequences of going in another direction for the third or fourth alternative. The harsh reality is that we have two principal choices, and I am supporting Hillary Clinton. Again, I respect those who analyze the situation differently, but in my experience, it matters a lot. I think that's, you know, it's an interesting, a very interesting piece.